Good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to those who are watching this live stream Policing Board meeting to receive the questions, put questions to the Chief Constable on his monthly report. Also pleased to welcome Director General of the National Crime Agency, Lynn Owens. Thank you for your report to the board, Lynn. There's certainly been some significant operations progressed over the last period, but we'll also be interested to hear from you as Director General on the latest thinking on implications for cross-jurisdictional working for law enforcement in the time ahead. In terms of serious crime, your report outlines in some detail real progress against tackling serious and organised crime and criminality. The latest IRC report records the continued scourge of paramilitarism within both Loyalist and Republican factions, which was then amplified by a reported assessment of overall group membership. The PCTF work is having success, but what is your assessment on further work still needed following the IRC report? On behalf of the board, I wish to put on record our condemnation of the recent threats made against a number of journalists. Chief Constable, the conclusion in court last week of the settlement in respect of the case brought by Mr. Burney and Mr. McCaffrey and Fine Point Films has brought back into focus the conduct and overall cost of this investigation to the public purse. Board and member concerns have been clearly articulated throughout, and we have already requested a lessons learned report from you. We're still waiting for the final Durham report, but this is a matter that we will return to in the new year, and we expect to see a considered response that will provide both assurance and reassurance. In terms of COVID-19 policing, again, Chief Constable, this is the first meeting since the publication of the board's report, and I note that a formal response is currently being prepared by you. It was overall a positive report reflecting the enormous challenges faced by police in interpreting and applying the restrictions that were imposed by the executive. Suffice to say that there continues to be significant media focus in both police actions and inactions, and your report makes some reflections around that. The rule around what the public can and can't do is still not quite clear and an ongoing issue. And as I listen to coverage of the Helens Bay watch, well put, public frustration is at times somewhat understandable. Even with the welcome news of the vaccine, we're still in the middle of a pandemic, and we continue to support you and your officers in the 4E's approach. We welcome the engagement work that you're proposing, as it is important to rebuild public relations and also engage internally where there have been concerns. Spit and bite guards, however, we do have a difference of opinion in respect of your decision on the temporary extension of the use of spit and bite guards. Chief Constable, let me be clear, the board is not satisfied that the spit and bite guards offered adequate protection to your staff or officers, and the evidence, we believe, points to that. Furthermore, we've been asking you to carry out full equality impact assessment to fully understand, identify and mitigate any adverse impacts of these guards on detainees, and to inform your decision making in this regard. The board respects the integrity and value of your operational responsibility. However, it is also not a means of insulation from the public, to which the PSNI are accountable through the Policing Board. You will appreciate that proper scrutiny of your actions in the democratic environment are essential parts of the checks and balances in a system under which enormous power has been entrusted to you to use for the protection and safety of the public. PSNI have been given those powers in trust, and it is entirely necessary and rational that you are properly held to account for their use by this board. Over to you, Chief Constable.